Hi everybody, welcome to the next Going Beyond mentorship video. And today I want to talk about adversity. The things that come up in our lives that we really have no choice but to deal with, process, and navigate. And those things are, as we know, part of life. There's nothing we can do but work through it. And what are those things? That can be anything from a loss of a loved one, the loss of a pet, the loss of a job, a divorce, an illness, or as we've seen in this past year and a half, a loss of the path we thought we were on. So many things can fit into this category of adversity. And a couple of things that I want to share with you about adversity. Well, the big thing that I really want you to know and absorb is that you are resilient. You do have the ability to see the light through challenging moments. We can feel like we don't have it, but we do. We are resilient creatures. The other thing I really want you to just breathe into is the fact that these adversities are part of our path forward. They're actually the things that mold us into who we're becoming. And for many people, and definitely many of the women who I've been mentoring, adversity is actually the food, the energy that fuels their next visions and ideas. It's actually a really beautiful thing to see. So breathing into the purpose of even the most difficult things. A couple of tips that I'd love to give you. They're the tips that I've used in my own process of managing pain and loss and adversity, and I'd love to share them with you here. They're the things that I give to the people that I speak to as ways to navigate the hurt, the sadness, the confusion, when we sometimes don't know how to manage whatever is coming up. The first thing is that when you're not managing adversity, I want you to have your tools already in flow so that when adversity comes, you're not completely thrown off. And what are some of the things? All right, I'll just tell you the things that work for me that become part of my healing modalities, my processes that I turn to. Movement has always been the thing, and I'm not talking about running 3 miles or spinning like crazy, although, those things are wonderful at the right time. But when I say movement, I mean soulful movement that moves your blood, moves your breathing, and allows for you to be reminded that you are whole and that you are alive. So if that kind of movement is actually part of your regular schedule, whether that's yoga stretching or restorative yoga or walks in nature, it won't feel off process when something intense is going on, for you to turn to those practices as a part of your healing. Our body is our temple and our tool, and so we should be always using it so that when we need those reminders, they're there for you. Similarly, tools around meditation, breath work, centering practices like journaling, these are the things that should be secondhand. They should be accessible to you. When the shit goes down, it's like we don't have to struggle and feel chaotic about what we turn to for processing. So we find our movement, we find our practices. The other thing, and I will say, when I went through the massive loss of my father, I did go through kind of a mad dash to find the content, the books, the resources that could soothe my soul. And I will say that those books and those authors are the things that I have referred to people over and over again. They're the things that even when I'll go through something else, I'll turn back to again. And so some of the things that have always, really kind of brought me peace, I love to go back to the ancient truths, because I figure if people have been speaking about mindsets around growth and loss for eons. They're certainly applicable now, and they've probably stood the test of time. So I'm a big fan of reading Pema Chodron, Thich Nhat Hanh. These are, Buddhist thinkers. When I lost my dad, I read Joan Didion's Year of Magical Thinking. There's some really beautiful writers and now Instagram pages that also look at grief and loss. There's some great podcasts about processing pain. I might botch the title up, but there's one that I've been really meaning to listen to. And I think it's called No, I'm Not Okay, or something like that. But if you Googled it, I think you'd find it. So if anything, content around grief and loss is out there more than ever. Check out my friend Rebecca Sofer's platform called Modern Loss. And it's not just loss for death. It's a loss in general, and a community of people exploring and understanding it. It's very powerful. But I love to read the ancients when it comes to processing pain, loss, discomfort. Lastly, but so super importantly, is to have your community of trusted ones, your therapist, your massage therapist, your acupuncturist. And you don't have to have these things going on constantly all the time. I understand we have limited time, limited budgets, but have these relationships in place. Tune in with your body and your mind periodically so that when the shit hits the fan, you have those to turn to. So this is so that when adversity hits, you're not stranded on an island. You have resources, you have people, you have your tools ready. You pick the one you need. So this is how I've learned how to do it, by being thrown into it and then having to figure out how to process. And I've utilized these things over and over and over. And I would say the people that I know who are successful and have successfully navigated adversity have also their own tools in place. And coming back to where I started, their losses, their pain, their grief is 100% part of what has fueled their positive forward motion in their life. So remember, this too shall pass, and you do have the power to work through it, not against it. And you will discover who you are and the gifts that blossom from that work. And that is the beauty of sailing those waters. So I hope that those ideas helped you. Check out the Going Beyond website. It's goingbeyondmovement.com. Check out the mentorship page. And if you are interested, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. Take care. Bye-bye.